It's gross. Alicia, how's it going? Hello, Anne. Thank you for liking the live. Hey, Alice, how are you? Thank you for the heart me. How's everyone doing this morning? Yeah. Took a lot of hype for me the last, what, like 10 minutes to go live. Just sitting here kind of like spacing out. But I'm here. Thank you for the heart me, Alice, and thank you Anne and Alicia for the heart me's as well. I'm feeling okay. Bro, Gabe, I bet. Sorry to hear that, though. Hey, Jobs. I'm very dysregulated today. Not sure why. It's only 2 p.m. It can change, yeah. 2 p.m. for me is always hard. I get like super sleepy. But yeah, probably because I wake up like today. I woke up at 3. I've been up since 3. But yeah, hopefully it does change. Yeah, doing good so far. Great. Happy to hear that, Alicia. Yeah, Gabe. No, don't worry about it. Incoming drag ring crashes down from ceiling. Welcome in, Tucker. Yeah, Gabe. I want to figure out a way to be able to like. Well, for one thing. So I met someone in therapy who has bipolar. And I asked him, hey, so when you're in your highs, do you think you're a god? And he, like, his eyes got all big. He's like, yes. You know? And you know, I told him sort of like how, like, I try and handle, you know, when this situation comes up, you know? And he says it's okay as far as, like, you know, not trying to, you know, encourage but not discourage, you know, invalidate, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I want to figure out a way to be able to, you know, at least let the rest of the Discord community know, so that they can best support you as well. But I don't know how to do that. So I guess it's kind of like a learn as we go sort of thing, but definitely feel like, you know, you know, you need to be able to have that outlet. You need to be able to have that place to go when you're going through that stuff, you know, and happy to provide that place, you know. Yeah. Right now I'm curled up in a ball, anxious about seeing family and friends who are going to ask what's going on in my life. So then are you going to be honest with them, or are you just going to give them the PR answer, you know? Autumn, thank you for the heart me and welcome in. Yeah, Gabe, you know, the guy I talked to said that meds changed everything for him. Maronio, welcome in. Autumn, thank you for the Go Populars. Heyo. But yeah, Gabe, like Alice said up there, how do we best support you? You know, um, what's the PR answer? The PR answer being the one that's like um, very carefully worded to say only what you need to say and not anything else, or do they want the honest one? Good morning from Cali. Good morning from Cali as well, from Southern California. What doctor did I go to first? I went to psychiatrist first, as far as doctors go. Actually, my general practitioner, because it was burnout, because it was a bunch of crazy things, and because I had a lot of physical things that came out of that too. But as far as starting to go and tackle these things, the psychiatrist was the first doctor. First professional I saw was a therapist. Because holy moly, you should definitely go to a therapist if you have something like this happen, and not ignore that. I think I have ADHD, but I'm not sure who I should see. Yeah, so what I would do first is make sure that you don't go in when you see a practitioner and say, I think I have ADHD. Okay. Because all they're going to do at that point is try and get you to either answer the questions properly to confirm what you say, or they're going to try and prove you wrong. So the best thing to do is to self-diagnose first, which is basically have that acceptance of yourself and that understanding that you may be. And then you go and you look into the symptoms. You look into the different traits and all that kind of stuff and start to wait for them to manifest in your life. And then you start to mark them as sort of like, okay, that's that and that's that. And then you speak on those experiences. Don't use labels, just talk about what your experience is with these particular types of situations. And then when you do that, you'll be guiding them towards them diagnosing you rather than them trying to prove you wrong, because they can't prove you wrong if you're talking about your diagnoses, or not. Sorry, they can't prove you wrong if you're talking about your symptoms, because your symptoms, I mean, that's the only data they have to go off of is how you're feeling, so definitely do that. But starting with a general practitioner would be good, or if you can see a psychiatrist, just going straight to a psychiatrist. But a good thing too is to find a neurodivergent affirming psychiatrist, and you can usually find those online. There's a database for them. If you just search for neurodivergent affirming practitioners, you'll be able to do it. Lola, I'm going through the process of being evaluated for ADHD at 41. Awesome. So how do you feel about that? Do you think you kind of already know the answer, or what are you hoping for? I'm struggling today, can't get up and do anything. I've planned a day, but I just can't. Yeah, I understand that so much. That's why I go live at 6 a.m. It's the only thing guaranteed to actually get me out of bed. And so that's one of the big reasons, So yeah, you gotta kind of like trick yourself into doing it. Good morning, Mama Rex. Good morning, Deanna Lynn. Thank you for the heart me and the Go Populars. Thank you for the Go Populars, Autumn, as well. Let's see. Sorry, I'm gonna try and catch up real fast here before I get too far behind. Because every one of them has different time span, and some I get political, so I don't know. Yeah, Gabe, I think here's the thing. If I was to be somebody to tell you what to do and how to handle this situation, basically if it was me, okay, what I would do is just accept the fact that I don't know what's going on, okay, but accept the fact also that I do need to be able to get professional help, right? And then I would be open to really any option that's available to be able to get this under control. Because I am not a kind of person who likes to be stuck in things. I'm not the kind of person who likes to be bound by things or held back. And um, this thing right here is, you know, very difficult. Um, and so, yeah, you know, I would just try and have a growth mindset of, okay, I have this. Lots of people have this, and lots of people find ways to manage and not suffer. And so, you know, if you want, I could see about, you know, getting some more information from the guy I met who has bipolar. You know, if you do have any questions, if so, send them over to me in Discord, because I'll be seeing him later on today, probably. I can't be fully honest right now. Jobs, you only have to disclose what you want to disclose to family, okay? By therapist, you mean psychologist? There are so many. Yeah, so the first person I saw with it was a therapist, but it was a trauma therapist who also specialized in ADHD, because they happen to be ADHD as well. I need to move this thing around. I don't know why. Why is it being like this? Oh, I know why. My camera moved. That's why. All right. Now things are better. But yeah, therapy is super important, especially trauma therapy. Get into trauma therapy, because even just learning these things can be traumatic, right? So I'm getting tested Sunday. I don't remember though. Hope I don't have it, but we'll see. Gabe, at the end of the day, whatever you have, okay? Whatever you have, you already have. And coming out of there, if you do get tested and you do get results, all it's going to be is more understanding of yourself, you know, and more sort of direction on where you can go with this. And so it's not going to change you. You're still going to be you. You're just going to be you with a deeper understanding of who you are, you know. Deanna, thank you for the TGIFs, and holy hell, TGIF for reals. Thank you for the pumpkin too. But yeah, you know, just, you're still you. These things aren't going to change you. You're still Gabe. And if anything, just having an answer to what it is going to be helpful, because then that opens up doors to what you can do about it, you know, and you know, a path forward, you know, and just, you know that there are solutions out there to help, you know, and it's okay to have these things. You know, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just, how do you manage them, right? And so that's going to be the big thing, is really what you do with this knowledge and information, you know. I don't allow guests to come up usually. Sometimes I do, but not typically. Although I have been, you know, bouncing around the idea of, you know, doing the multi-guest thing ahead of time. So if I may do that, you know, soon, but it's something that I have to plan to do, because the autistic part of me does not like that last minute change kind of thing, and it throws me off. It makes me very, very uncomfortable, all that kind of stuff. And so if I'm able to plan it ahead of time, it really makes things a little bit more comfortable for me, which I know sounds really selfish, but you know, host has to be comfortable, right? Otherwise things get really awkward. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, you definitely you know, feel free to hang out and chat and stuff. And then we have a Discord too, and you know, in the Discord there's also opportunities there to, you know, chat and do all that stuff, not just text, but we have a voice channel where you can do like voice and video and all that stuff as well. So there's a lot of that stuff too. You want to go to a shrink because they can prescribe medicine. I'm burnout at 29, or is it just something else? I mean, I can't tell you what it is because I'm not you, But you know, if you're feeling burnout, you know, it could be. Have you seen anybody about it yet? Sorry to screen, and it's mild ADHD. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm glad that you're able to get the answer. How do you feel with that sort of result? I have OCD and my thoughts get stuck on a loop. My therapist says it's only manageable. Yeah. If you're talking about manageable, yeah, all these things are mostly manageable things. Nothing really gets cured. Ah, the water. Gotta drink some water. What are you guys doing? Hey, Deanna, thank you for the hi bear. But yeah, a lot of things are just learning how to manage this stuff, right? And it doesn't mean that you're always suffering with it. It just means you have to take an active role in actually, you know, doing a big part of it. Oops, hold on a sec. All right. Then that's all right. Let me see here real fast. I'm gonna catch up real fast. I don't want to get up. Don't get up then, Deanna, and call in sick. I do want to try medicine. I've made lots of changes with diet and organization. Yeah, it's one of the things I've kind of been forced to do because medication doesn't work for me. So I've had to really lean into the skills and stuff. I'm going to talk through fast a lot of these. I'll commit to jumping on your live at 6 a.m. This will hold me accountable. All right. Yeah, do it. Do it. You still going to go live in the morning when you go back to work, Tim? Yes. Although my my leave has been extended another 6 weeks into mid-December, which reminds me, I just got an email that I want to check from my HR. So let me check that real fast. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Not really all the information I was looking for, but good enough for now. Phony Stark, right? Right. I'm glad that people are starting to recognize again. All right. Yeah, I'm still gonna go live. Morning, baby. How are you? What? Lavode86. What? We'll also ask the doctor how many patients has she has cured? Cured of what? I got diagnosed late with some of the same stuff, plus halfway more through halfway through my senior year. Deanna, how was that? Experience as far as getting it done? I was happy getting answers, but it was pretty traumatic at the same time. Totally is traumatic. Yeah, but it's important to acknowledge that it's traumatic because that means then that you're looking for help, right? And you're looking to get those things, addressed, taken care of, right? Let's see. Sorry, going through fast. And you're not alone, Phony Stark, haha. Me too. MG, hey, how did you sleep? And I slept okay. I slept probably about like 5 hours ish, not much, but I woke up at 3 and couldn't go back to sleep. So I've been up for a little. Felt selfish last night when I was trying to communicate. What do you mean? Deanna. Wait, does eyes change during mania? Because I remember my pupils were a lot bigger. I'm sure they may, but I don't know if those are the details really that are like important to be focusing on. You know, Gabe, definitely having an understanding of stuff, but I would kind of focus more on trying to control it. Definitely don't try and go manic. Okay, try and avoid that actually. You know, and I'm sure you'll want that too. Can't call in sick. I have an assessment today at 9 a.m. Doctors get sick though, right? Or therapists get sick. People get sick. What can you do? Hey, Alina, how's it going? I loved your covers. So awesome. You have an amazing voice. Homebody Lady, thank you for the heart me. Paul, thank you for the heart me as well. I've done DBT, but I feel like I need something else to help. Any recommendations? I am really into like the somatic exercises. And that's really like listening to your body and understanding your body and really doing a deep dive into how the body responds to things. So I would look into somatic therapy, specifically, maybe even look online or use ChatGPT to ask about somatic exercises, and even maybe introduce you to what somatic exercises are through a small test, you know, and using ChatGPT to do that is actually pretty amazing. So definitely try that out if you want. About that time for, again, time to work out, Paul. The main thing was my ADHD. I had struggled in school for so long without knowing why. Yeah, I mean, I struggled my whole life. I knew that these things were there. I just didn't know what they were called or that they were even related to each other. Once I got that information, you know, everything changed. It's hard to find a doctor to do a test for me regarding autism, and it's so difficult. Yeah. You know, are you looking to gain anything specifically from the from an autism diagnosis? Because there's a lot of skills and things that you can learn even now that don't require a diagnosis. A lot of information online, all that kind of stuff. I sometimes have no empathy and it hurts others, but I don't mean to. Nice to see you. Nice to see you as well, homebody lady. Yeah. You know, for me, empathy is like my first language, you know, so it's kind of hard to kind of see the world from a different lens of not having empathy. But yeah, you know, a lot of times, you know, people can be misunderstood, and that's rough, you know, especially if, you know, you come across a particular way you don't intend to, you know. And so I think really the thing is give yourself some grace. Of course, that's like the number one thing that I always tell people to do. But yeah, you know, give yourself some grace and, you know, try and be a little bit more open, you know, with those people if you do feel like you've hurt them, you know, you know, at least follow up with it. Don't ignore it, because if you ignore it, then it's still going to kind of like linger. Hey man, I want to say congrats on your journey. Thank you so much, little ramen heart. I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming in and saying that. EMDR is the best therapy out there for trauma. Yeah, for reals. So my parents were clueless. Yeah, my parents were clueless too. I slept for about 11 hours last night, only because I did an all-nighter the night before that though. Yeah, well. Yeah, Alice, somatic therapies. For real, for real. I was tested as a child twice for ADHD and misdiagnosed. That's one of the reasons why I don't really go back and say, I wish I would have been diagnosed as a kid, because I very much could have been misdiagnosed, because back then in the 80s, they thought ADHD, which was just hyperactivity, they thought that it was behavioral. So that would have sucked to have been forced upon therapies to try and change me. Yeah. Let's see. ADHD, schizoaffective with MDD, OCD, PTSD. Yeah. Well, welcome in. I looked into Autism Speaks. Try Embrace Autism. Yeah, Autism Speaks. I believe, I haven't really read too much into it, but my brother, who's been a part of the autistic community for quite a while, you know, says that there's a lot of controversy with Autism Speaks, but that Embrace Autism is so much more sort of, I guess, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why, to be honest. but a lot of people say that. So, and people who I trust. So I just, honestly, if it's people I trust, I just take their word for it. Um, totally love these talks. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate that. If you're learning the signs, you can seek help before it deepens. Yeah, talking about the mania. Yeah. I always knew something was wrong with me, but no one listened until I was 18. Well, I mean, it's great that were able to get somebody to listen and to get the help you need. I'm too scared to do EMDR. I was as well, but I'm ready now. But because of this other stuff I'm going through right now, I'm putting it on pause. But hopefully later on this month, I can start it back up. Let me see. Have you done any reading into consciousness? What do you mean by that? My parents took me to a shrink when I was 10, but I didn't talk, so they misdiagnosed me too. Yeah. Hey, not to therapy in 25 minutes. Joso, good luck. Good luck. I am really hoping that there's some positive outcomes, for that for you. Let me know how it goes. I'm sure we'll all be pretty anxious to, know how it goes. Yes, I was labeled as a child ADHD, PTSD, depression, anxiety. Later on, got diagnosed with Annie and severe PTSD. Puzzle pieces were fitting, but I was terrified. Yeah. A lot of it can be scary, especially going through it, for the first time and really identifying all this stuff is weird. Okay. Yeah, I believe, Casey, that was what I had. Something like that was what I had heard from my brother. So yeah, Autism Speaks uses negative wording regarding autism and those who have it. So yeah, embrace autism, is the go-to. Do you know how long you will be on this morning? I will be on at least for another half hour-ish. We'll see. What is mania? I don't know how to explain my feelings. I'm not really too sure. I don't experience mania. There are other people in here who have, so they may have some better answers. And if anybody does have a better answer, please, feel free to reply to Brittany, with some info there. But doing a lot of studying and practicing it in general, and it's changed my life for the better. You're talking about the consciousness stuff. Like, what type of work is it? Because it may be similar to somatic therapies. I'm just glad they finally diagnosed right, because I couldn't have survived anymore. Yeah, for reals. Deanna Lynn is asleep. Scottian? Is that like Scott and caution? I just feel flat all the time. Not happy or sad, just kind of there. I can hear that, yeah. Frequency work, shadow work, and a lot of meditating. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I think that's very similar to what I do. Because you relate to office. I know. I wasn't assuming it was because of me, Deanna. Got it. So you big into ska? Or is like Scottian like a band name? Because I know ska bands like to sometimes include ska in their name. I am freezing right now. Ooh. I'm not gonna like put it on. I'm just gonna wear it like in front of me. Oof. It's gonna be like my little snuggie for right now. Because I got chills like all over my body right now. I don't think I'm actually cold though. I feel bored when my meds wear off, more anxious. I cried for 18 months. Every day just cried. I'm having to fix my own brokenness. I'm sorry, to hear that it's been a struggle. How are you doing today? I love 99% music. I wanted to make a ska band at 16, and that was the name. The band never happened, but one finally did in 2009. Not a ska band, a weird rock band. Yeah, I was in like punk rock bands in the late 90s, early 2000s. And late 90s, of course, there were a lot of gigs that we played that were with ska bands and stuff. So knew of a few and stuff. Um, Tim OMG, I've been essayed and somehow didn't think it affected me. I've been alone and stuff. Resurfacing. I'm sorry to hear that. And yeah, a lot of times the trauma can be so severe that it actually gets locked away, kind of for your own self-preservation. So that's why it's important to address these things, and to, you know, um, seek therapy even if you don't think you need it. Um, but yeah, let's see. Good, thanks to TikTok, really great. I see guitars. You may appreciate our tunes played with tons of ska bands. Oh, 90s. I wasn't even around until later 90s. That's why I call you kid, you know? Because the 90s were a great time to be a teenager. I'll tell you that. Um, just search, go for launch on any platform, you'll find. Okay, yeah, I'll check it out. 98, baby. Deanna, that's when well, I would say graduated high school, but we all know that, that's when I passed my high school equivalency test with the state of California to get my high school equivalency diploma. So yeah, that's where I was in 98. I was supposed to graduate in 99, but, well, I mean, I was supposed to a lot of things, but for my age, I would have graduated in 99. For the record, I'm 45. Yeah, so kind of around the same age. Now I'm feeling ancient. Well, Paul, don't worry. I'll be where you are soon, but by then you'll be further up too. Biggest tip on getting through it all: give yourself grace and go to therapy, because this stuff is very challenging, and you need to be able to accept the fact that it's challenging. Um, yeah. Dyslexia, huh? I should look into this. What are the symptoms? For me, the symptoms are, it's actually different for me than it is for others, but, or common, I guess. It's not what you would commonly think. So it's word swapping. Essentially, if I were to, I script out what I'm going to say before I say it, which is part of like the autism stuff. And when I plan to say a particular word, that word sometimes comes out a completely different word, sometimes the opposite word. And then it gets worse during an argument. So it'll appear like I'm gaslighting. And out of everything that I have, it's probably the most embarrassing one that I have, because it's just so noticeable. And it just makes it seem like I don't know what words mean, Born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s. Born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s. And I think I still think that was like the best time. Maybe not growing up in the 80s, but being a teenager in the 90s was pretty cool. Time is a man-made construct. Past, present, and future are happening at the same time. Age is nothing. Well, I mean, that sounds interesting. Maybe a little waking and baking some bread or something, right? But yeah, unfortunately, we are bound to time. Time doesn't wait for us. So talk to someone who won't get annoyed with you and tell them how you feel. Something for you to give a small example of dyslexia for you. Yeah, word swapping. Do will become don't, can will become can't. That kind of stuff. But you'll see it happen with me quite often in the life. You know, one of the words that I say may just be like the wrong word or something. And yeah, you know, a lot of times I can't even tell when it happens, but other people can. I need a jet. Thanks for what you do, and you shall see more of me. Awesome, Scotchen. Appreciate it. It's quantum physics. I haven't. Okay. All right. Just making sure. Just making sure. It's a quite a wide view of things, you know. Of course, Brandon. How am I tired? I got 9 hours of sleep. Your brain's been working extra hard, Gabe. Extra hard. Alicia is ready to go. Alicia is jumping into the weekend lungs first, right? So I'm 44 and just discovered I'm autistic. I also have dyslexia, but I knew that for a while. I didn't know that what I didn't know that what I had was dyslexia until somebody who's a dyslexia coach told me it was dyslexia. And then it was like, okay, it has a label, but I also got a lot of other things that are kind of like pretty high priority right now for me. So I didn't really do much with that information yet, but I will soon. Gabe. Ugh. Sorry. That one hit hard. Like very hard. Ugh. Actually, can't even really see because the lights aren't on. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. Because the monitor isn't in the right position. Yeah, my goosebumps are like freaking on top right now. Yeah, I really just like overstimulated myself touching the back of my neck like that. Yeah, Gabe, your kids are gonna be really good at Magic the Gathering, so do it. My dad told me because he also has it. Yeah. Well, yeah. So, but learning that at 44, how has that been? You haven't reminded me. I haven't taken my meds yet. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. What do you lift? You look strong. I lift the burritos up to my mouth and then I take a bite and then I place them back down. Welcome back, Anne. No, I don't work out. I've yeah, I should, but I don't. You look like I'm in. Well, hey. If I look like it, then I don't need to go to it, right? Great. Now I want a burrito. Oh my gosh! Like seriously, like it was 5 a.m. and I was on Grubhub and DoorDash looking for breakfast burritos. Not a place was going to be open until 6. And I'm like, that's when I go live. But I was totally going to have a breakfast burrito just delivered. I was going for it. How y'all like burritos? Shoot. I'm from Southern California. If you don't like burritos, then you're not allowed to be here, basically. You found chocolate biscuits? I don't know why I spit so much. See, Christy, no, we don't need to work out. You know, with Al Pastor. Al Pastor. Now, I've been trying to dissect what Al Pastor is. Is it basically like carne asada, but with chorizo? Because that's kind of like what it tastes like. I haven't really been into it that much, but I feel like that's kind of like what it is. They've been thinking about the different views of neurodiverse and neurotypical people. I've been thinking about the communication styles. And I feel like there's a lot of room to improve communication styles between neurotypical and neurodiverse. Yeah. Don't burritos have rice in it? I mean, they can. Uh, SoCal has the best too. Yeah, you know, breakfast burrito right now, baby. You are on the ball. Do I work? Right now, I am currently taking a leave from work, but I should be back to work in mid-December. I work out in my daily life with daily activities. 100% hate the gym. Yeah, I mean, I do stuff. You know, pork. So is it just all pork then? But then it tastes very much like chorizo. Burrito. Didn't I go DEFCON 1 on tacos? Yes, tacos and burritos are different, Gabe. And if you're gonna go DEFCON 1 on burritos, assuming that they're also tacos, then this war is already lost on your end because you don't even know what you're fighting for. The traumas make our muscle work anyway, so who needs a gym? Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Like my back muscles and my neck muscles are always tense, always tense. Yeah, so you could say that. Oh, okay. Most need a mirror and look at themselves so they don't take it personally. And I gotta go back and be like, what's the? Yeah. Northern California there. Awesome, awesome. Wouldn't be able to have one if it had rice in it. I typically don't like rice in my burritos unless I'm eating a bean rice cheese burrito. But besides that, I don't like rice in burritos. Even at Chipotle. So don't come at me. Don't come at me, all y'all burrito people. Sometimes rice is a la carte. Okay. Yeah, communication is key. Yeah, especially I think for yeah. Okay, yeah. As far as communication, definitely that's where, you know, a lot of clarity is needed. What I do for work, I work in IT. I'm a director. Going DEFCON 1 on burritos too, Gabe. I don't know. You're wrong, but yeah. 100% my whole body spasms. From what? I told people it feels like stomach crunches all day. I get muscle spasms. Well, I get non-seizure seizures. Yeah, shared one of my videos with you, Tim. Thought you might like it. No pressure to watch it. Oh, yeah. I saw that. I haven't opened it yet, but I'll take a look at it. I scroll so hard and never hit the gym. I mean, I should, but there are too many side quests. Yeah, fair enough. You know, I mean, you can only do so much, and at least having the intent to go to the gym is much more than what I do. You know, so dance through the spasms. I just clench up, and then it hurts. Have you tried Middle Eastern rice? I'm sure I have. Do you seek out religion or spirituality? Not religion. No, religion caused my CPTSD. Spirituality, I think, is something that everyone has. You know, as far as even if their spirituality is that there is nothing, you know, it's still sort of their spirituality. But yeah, fried chicken is the best food ever. I mean, that's cool, Gabe. I'm glad that you have that opinion. Doesn't mean that you're like right for everyone, but that can be your truth. You know, I'll let that be your truth. Oof. But yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna put my kimono on because the chills are not going away. Which, for those of you who are joining for the first time or haven't been here before, my nervous system tells me it's overwhelmed by giving me chills that are basically the sensation of being cold without actually being cold. You love kimono? That's right. Well, like I said, if Steven Seagal can pull it off, so can I, right? There's my blob. Oh, my blob. How are you? All right, Joe, so good luck. We'll be thinking of you. Gabe, your truth is not always right. Okay. But you can get to a point where your truth can be. Agree, I have ADHD, CPTSD, finally worked it out, but damn, it was hard. Spirituality helped a lot. Yeah, religion, not so much. But that's because religion is basically people's take on spirituality and then their sort of desire to have you be in agreement with them, you know. So, yep. So, anyway, um, um, just dropping by and say hi. How are you? I'm doing okay. Doing okay. Didn't sleep much last night, but doing okay. How about you? I'm extremely sensitive to being cold. I live in Florida. AC is cold to me. Um, yeah. So for me, like what happens is my body gets overstimulated very easily, especially after burnout. And whenever I get overwhelmed, um, I get these goosebumps, like basically chills all over my whole body, except they're painful. It feels like lightning going through my body, or even like pins and needles everywhere. It's pretty painful. And so the thing with the kimono, though, is that wind blowing on it hurts my skin. It's silly, but it hurts. Um, so I wear this thing, and it's usually the worst in the morning. So, Blob, thank you for the heart, me. I appreciate you. Of course, I appreciate you, my blob. My favorite, most unstable blob that's better than any blob you've ever encountered. But yeah, found lyrics for a song I was gonna make. Well, yeah, worst lyrics ever. Needing to vent, my vent has taken away my taste. I love food, but now it's food without taste. Have you talked to your psychiatrist about this? Because they're, maybe it's something that needs to be adjusted, or maybe even tuned down. But yeah, so those of you who don't know, my name's Tim, and last year I hit burnout. And when I hit burnout, I realized that I had autism and ADHD, dyslexia, and complex PTSD, and that I had been masking all of my symptoms, traits, and all that stuff my whole life. And the way that I did it was kind of ridiculous. I had sensory sensitivity to visual, with my eyes, with sound, with textures and tastes of things. And you would think with something like being sensitive to sound that it would never go away. But thanks to the Sony Walkman and turning the volume up all the way, I really desensitized myself to it. But really what happened was I ended up internalizing it into my back muscles. And so, yeah, it was quite the journey. I realized I had CPTSD when repressed memories came back. And those repressed memories came back because I developed a condition called piriformis, which the pain matched exactly the pain I experienced as a kid. And so since I wasn't getting up and running out of there, my brain was saying, why aren't you doing that? Here's what happens when you feel this. And then sent me a bunch of repressed memories. When I woke up the next day, I had absolutely no executive function. Not executive dysfunction, but no executive function, which meant I had like no ability to like have short-term memory, to remember why I would walk into a room, to even realize when I needed to go to the bathroom. I would get like a very, very, very brief warning. And yeah, things were pretty tough. But since then, I have had an extreme amount of growth. I've been able to navigate this very complex and confusing system to be able to get that help. And so now what I do is come on here and share my story, because when I went through it myself, I thought I was alone. I thought I was the only person in the world that would have something like this happen to them. But I wasn't. And so what I want to do now is kind of share this, because we as a society are told not to talk about mental health, not to talk about things that are happening within our brain. And so because of that, we don't know how common this stuff is, and we don't know that we can reach out to others who are going through the same thing. So because of that, I'm trying to have these conversations a little bit more open, so that we can find our community, find people who can relate to us, yeah. So that's my spiel. I am not a doctor. I'm just going off of my lived experience. So yeah, sensory integration processing disorder. My daughter suffers with the same symptoms. Yeah, it's pretty rough. Why do I try and copy Kanye while potentially manic? That's the worst person to copy. Um, yeah, I don't know. Really like Kanye. No, 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 you don't have to calm down, Gabe. I have to force myself to eat food I don't like at certain times. I get it. Yeah. Um, I can force myself through things, but it's very uncomfortable. Physically uncomfortable. And so, I don't know why people would do that, but they do. Um, I had awakening a few weeks ago. The clarity was amazing. That's great, Chris. That's great. Um, you guys, I hate to do this, but my stomach's not really feeling that well, and I think I'm gonna have to end the live a little early, and probably take a little bit of a rest before I go to therapy. I apologize again, but those of you who don't know, I had a GI issue back all of 2023, where doctors didn't figure out what it was. It took them a year to figure out that it was small intestine bacterial overgrowth, but it came with lots of pain and nausea and all kinds of stuff. And I also developed PTSD from it. And so because of that, I'm a little sensitive to stomach stuff. And I'm sure it's not going to be anything too big, but I do have a tendency to, when I have stomach issues, make them worse if I do not just rest. As you can see, I'm kind of like rocking because I'm stimming, because I'm getting kind of overwhelmed at the thought that, I'm about to have stomach issues. But I just need to go calm myself down. It's Friday. I'll be on live again later. Maybe for lunch, which will be in like another 5 hours or so. Yeah, sorry about that. I am gonna have to go for a little bit, but yeah. Thank you so much for popping in, and please join the Discord. I'll update you all there. Thank you all for allowing this to be a safe space, and I will catch you all soon. All right, bye everyone. Bye. Bye.